Hello everybody and welcome to today's stream. I'm just making sure that the audio is working and that all that kind of stuff is appropriate. I had all the technical stuff before the stream started. That's right. Okay, fantastic. Nice to have you all here in chat with me as we are diving into Book 2, Fire on the Water. Fire on the Water. It's lovely to see all of you here, even you crazy folks from Australia, up at super early time, or super late time, depending on your approach, I guess. Anyway, I was asked, why do I use the old books when the new books are available and they've been slightly updated here and there in bits and pieces? Well, I use the old book because you can't really get these old versions anymore unless you go to secondhand stores and things like that. But you can get the new ones. So that's why I use the new ones. You can get the new ones from Amazon and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's why we're using this one. Now, Fire on the Water, book number 2, was actually one of the last books in the series that I got. Of the 30-odd books, or the 25 books that I have, number 2 was one of the last ones that I got. It was very rare to find in South Africa. But I'm very excited about it because it takes us on a journey. And you're part of that journey. So for the first time that you've joined the stream, you'll notice a couple of things around the screen. And so, yes, you are going to be choosing how this all works. You're going to be I'm going to be running a series of polls. And you get to vote on those polls. And that's where the story kind of goes. I'll give you some options. I'll give you some numbers. And you choose which number you want to go with. So that's very simple. That's how the rules work. Now, if you have successfully completed book 1 of the Lone Wolf series, which we did eventually, took us 3 tries, but we did eventually get there, you will already have your combat skill, we do, your endurance points, we do, and Kai disciplines, which you can now carry over to book 2. You may also carry over any weapons and special equipment, well, that was very limited, that you had, but you're still limited to 2 weapons and 8 backpack items. Through your experiences in Book 1, you have learned new skills. You may choose 1 extra Kai discipline to add to your character. 1 extra discipline. 1 extra discipline. What are the disciplines? Okay, you're going to have to pay attention because it takes quite a time to read through all of these. Okay? So, and if you did miss the last stream, don't worry. I will read the recap that's at the front of this book. But we need to choose our disciplines first. So what are our disciplines? Well, we have, I'm not going to read the ones that we already have. We've got camouflage. So we do not have hunting. This skill ensures that a Kai Lord will never starve in the wild. He will always be able to hunt for food for himself, except in areas of wasteland or desert. The skill also enables a Kai Lord to be able to move stealthily when stalking prey. So that is hunting. Now, to give you some context, the adventure that we are in is going to take us here. We need to journey from Holmgard to the capital city of Hammerdal in Durnor. That's the journey we need to take. Cross lots of wildlands, and I don't know if that would count as wasteland or desert, but it does say wildlands, and it's not green like the areas that we have been in already. So think about that one. So that's hunting. We've got Sixth Sense, we've got tracking, we've got healing. Weapon skill we all voted last time was a bit redundant because you get +2 to your combat skill, which is always useful, but only for the particular type of weapon that you have weapon skill in. So I think we're going to veto that one straight away. I don't think I've ever taken that, to be honest with you. Anyway, Mind Shield we have, but we don't have Mind Blast. Mind Blast. This enables a Kai Lord to attack an enemy using the force of his mind. It can be used at the same time as normal combat and adds 2 extra combat points to your combat skill. Not all creatures, however, are harmed by Mind Blast, and you will be told if they are immune to Mind Blast. So that's Mind Blast. Animal Kinship. This skill enables a Kai Lord to communicate with some animals and to be able to guess the intentions of others. Animal Kinship and Mind over Matter. Master of this discipline enables a Kai Lord to move small objects with his powers of concentration. Okay, so there we are. Right. Okay, so let me put those into a poll, and y'all can vote for them. That's right. That's right. So we've got Mind Blast. This makes life easier. We find Mind Blast. It does take a little bit of time for me to type in, so you just have to be patient. Be patient, damn you. Animal kinship. Animal kinship. Not sure personally what I would take here, to be honest with you. Mind Blast, Animal Kinship, Mind Over Matter. In the last book, we never used any of these, except Animal Kinship would have come in handy once. And of course, Mind Blast would have come in handy for combat purposes. And then what was the other one that we hadn't got yet? Hunting. Hunting. So those are the four. Those are the four you can vote on now. Hunting allows us to ignore requiring food. We do have 2 meals available. Mind Blast gives us +2 when fighting normal creatures. Animal Kinship or Mind Over Matter. So there we are. All right. Yeah. Right. Now, if you are new to the stream and you have read these books extensively before, don't metagame. This is not about getting through the book as quickly as possible. We could just get Ben, who's the son of Joe, to come and sit with us on the stream and just talk us through the chat, through all of the options. That's not what the point is. The point is to explore with Lone Wolf and to die multiple times. Well, we don't want to die, but that will happen. That's part of it. Okay. That's part of it. Right. So let's see. Do we save live copies? Well, the live show does go out onto YouTube later, if that's the question. It is available. They are available. Okay, so far, Mind Blast definitely winning over anything else. Now, normally, I wait for a quorum. So I can see the number of concurrent viewers, and I wait for at least 50% of the viewers to vote. So we've got 50% there. So if you are going to vote, now's the time. So let's see. Okay. I'm going to now have to do something very cunning here, very quickly, which I was prepared for. The vote is now closed. I'm going to end the poll, and it's Mind Blast. 64%. 64% said Mind Blast. So I have got this little page open here already, and I'm going to add Mind Blast to the whole thing. So this is really useful. Now, something that you will need to do, last time, everyone remembered except for me. You will need to keep track of our healing. And the reason is that we heal 1 endurance point every time we read a page that doesn't involve combat. That's important. And updated. Updated. There we go. Right, we've got our skills. Excellent. Life can continue. Let's move on. All of this done live in front of your very eyes. That's the power of live shows, right? Okay, and then just a reminder, there's 21 people, so hopefully we'd have 21 likes, but we don't yet have that there. I'm not judging. If you don't like the stream so far, I don't blame you. We haven't yet got into it, really. We've got the technicals out of the way. Okay, so here we are. I'm reading the story so far. In the northern land of Sumaland, it has been the custom for many centuries to send the children of the warrior lords to the monastery of Kai. There they are taught the skills and disciplines of their noble fathers. In olden times, during the age of the Black Moon, the Dark Lords waged war on Sumaland. The conflict was long and a bitter trial of strength that ended in victory for the Sumalanding at the great battle of the Markin Gorge. King Ulnar and the allies of Duranor broke the Dark Lord armies at the pass of Moitura and forced them back into the bottomless abyss of the Marken Gorge. Vashna, mightiest of the Dark Lords, was slain upon the sword of King Ulna, called Swoomer Sword, the Sword of the Sun. Since that age, the Dark Lords have vowed vengeance upon Sumerland and the House of Ulna. You are Lone Wolf, a young Kai initiate who was learning the secret skills of the Kai Lords. 2 days ago, your peaceful country was plunged into war when a vast Dark Lord army suddenly invaded Sumerland and completely destroyed the Kai monastery. All the Kai Lords were in attendance for the feast of Faman, and all were killed, as the monastery was surrounded and destroyed, the walls collapsing in on the assembled company. You, the only Kai Lord to survive the massacre, vowed then to avenge their deaths. You knew your first task had to be to warn the king, for without the Kai Lords to lead her armies, your country, Sumerland, would be unable to mobilize in time to drive the Dark Lords back. Your journey to the capital was perilous indeed. The enemy had overrun much of the country and were marching upon Holmgard, the capital itself. But despite the many dangers, you fought your way through to the capital and delivered your warning to the king's court. There you were greatly praised for your skill and bravery, but told your mission was not complete. With the Kai Lords dead, there remained only one power in all of Magnamund that could save your people from the Dark Lords: the Sumer Sword. After the defeat of Vashna, the Sumer Sword had been bestowed upon the allies of Duranor as a mark of the trust and allegiance that exists between the two kingdoms. In return, King Allen of Duranor gave Sumerland a magnificent golden ring bearing the royal arms of Duranor. This ring is known as the Seal of Hammerdal. At the time, King Alain vowed that if ever the shadow of the West should rise again to threaten Sumerland, Duranor would come to the aid of her ally. The king has given you the Seal of Hamadal. Your quest is to travel to Duranor to fetch the Sumer Sword and bring it back. But meanwhile, the enemy have broken through the outer defenses to the capital and are preparing to besiege the city wall. As Captain Deval of the King's Guard leads you to the royal armory to equip you for your mission, the king's words keep coming back to you. 40 days, Lone Wolf. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. 40 days, Lone Wolf. We have strength to stand against them for only 40 days. Right, so that's where the story picks up. Guard Captain Deval leads you to the royal armory, where your green tunic and Kai cloak are taken from you to be repaired and cleaned. While you await the return, Captain Deval hands you a pouch of gold for your journey. To find out how much gold is in the pouch, pick a random number from the random number table and add 10 to the number you have picked. The total equals the number of gold crowns inside the pouch, and you may now enter that number in the gold crown section of your action chart. If you have successfully completed Book 1, you may add this sum to the total of any crowns you already possess. Well, we just happen to have a random number generator here. And so here we go. We get 16 additional gold coins, which puts us on 44. Isn't that lovely? All right, 44. Now, on a large table in the center of the armory, a number of items have been laid out for your choice. You may take any two of the following: a sword, a short sword, 2 meals, a chainmail waistcoat, which will add 4 endurance points to our total, a mace, a healing potion, which restores 4 endurance points when you swallow it after combat, a quarterstaff, a spear, or a shield, which adds 2 points to your combat skill when used, or a broadsword. Interesting. Very interesting. We can choose 2. We can choose 2. So, chainmail, waistcoat, and shield are the ones that are immediately being thrown out. There is no maximum money as far as I can tell. I can't see any kind of maximum value that we can possess. 44 gold is not too bad. Given that we haven't seen an economy yet, I don't really know. But I'm not going to do a poll for this because there's so many different things here. I think we can eliminate the weapons because we have a dagger which still counts as effectively as any of the others. A sword, a short sword, etc., etc. We have 2 meals, which is okay. The waistcoat gives us 4 endurance points, which would be great because we didn't get any additional endurance points. So I think we're going to just take that. Seems to be a solid choice. A waistcoat, which is a special item, by the way. So the special items don't get lost when you lose your backpack. You get to keep those. There's less ease in waistcoat. So you don't lose them when you lose a whole bunch of other stuff. So that puts us on 26, which is quite nice. And then the other option was the shield. Well, I have to agree with you. I think this makes a lot of sense. So now we have a shield as well, and it's also a special item. I should have had another category for special items, but I didn't, because everything there is a special item except for the dagger, which is a piece of equipment. So our combat goes to 19, and as a matter of fact, it's actually 21 when we are fighting using Mind Blast, which I don't think is too bad at all. I don't think it's too bad at all. As chat's saying, probably not much need to go swimming, given the journey that we are undertaking from Holmgard to Hammerdal. Probably not a lot of swimming. We will be going, I'm assuming, past Bagardorn, I guess. But do we need to, I mean, we could take a ship, technically, I suppose, and just get there straight away. It would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Well, let's see. Let us see. Okay. Right. Oh, I apologize, Matthew. There is a maximum amount of gold coins. Your belt pouch will hold a maximum of 50 crowns. It won't hold anything more than that. Okay. Right. So, we are... Where now? Food, healing potions, rule for combat. That's okay. We have that pretty much down pat. Oh. Some Kai wisdom. Your mission will be fraught with great danger, for the Dark Lords and their servants are a cruel and cunning enemy who give and expect no mercy. Use the map at the front of the book to help you steer a correct course for Hammerdal. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be a great help in future adventures. Many things that you find will aid you during your adventure. Some special items will be of use in future Lone Wolf adventures, and others may be red herrings, of no real use at all, so be selective in what you decide to keep. There are many routes to Hammerdal, but only one will enable you to retrieve the Summersword and return to Summerland with the minimum of danger. A wise choice of Kai disciplines and a great deal of courage should enable any player to complete the mission, no matter how weak his initial combat or endurance point score is. The fate of your country hangs on the success of your perilous quest. Good luck. Well. Oh, is that so? I haven't looked at the new ones yet, but I see you get to choose 4 items instead of 2. Yes, I think they've made them slightly easier. Anyway, folks, 21 minutes in, and it's time for us to begin Book 2, Fire on the Water. I hope you're ready. I hope you're prepared. Get ready to do the polls. You know the poll thing. You're going to do the polls. Right. Captain Deval and his guards escort you to the Citadel Gate, where a small covered wagon awaits you. As soon as you clamber in, the gates are thrown open, and you are hurried away through the crowded streets of Holmgard. After a short but uncomfortable journey, the wagon stops and the driver pulls open the canvas flap. "This is the key, my lord. There is your ship, the Green Scepter." As he speaks, the driver points across the quay to a sleek trade caravel anchored near to the harbour wall. The first mate's name is Ronan. You'll find him waiting for you across the square at the Good Cheer Inn." Then the driver bids you farewell, and quickly disappears into the teeming crowds. You reach the inn to find the front doors locked and the window shutters barred. You are trying to decide what to do next when a hand grabs your arm and you are pulled into the darkness. If you wish to draw your weapon and attack your unknown assailant, turn to 273. If you wish to try and pull free of his grasp, turn to 160. And yes, we would start with maximum hit points. You are quite right. And so here we go. Let's throw in the pole. And so, if you wish to draw your weapon, unhand me. I am a Kai. Do you not know I'm an important mission to save the country and the world? I don't need banditry right now. Unhand me. 273, we draw our weapon and attack our assailant. Or 160, we try to pull free of his grasp. Oh, why? We're in Holmgard. This shouldn't happen. We should be at peace. There's a war outside, not fighting each other. Right, poll is in over the mark, and we end the poll. 160 it is. We're not going to fight. We speak peace, so it should be peace. 160.
Forgive me, my lord. I did not mean to startle you.
You pulled me into a darkened alley. What did you expect? No, I'm fine. The man seems nervous, and the open hand that is extended towards you is shaking quite visibly. With some caution, you accept the gesture of friendship and sit with the man at a tavern table. The place is deserted save for a couple of mice gnawing at a large chunk of cheese.
Captain Kelman has instructed me to take you to the Green Scepter, but only if I am sure that you are the Kai Lord they call Lone Wolf. Can you prove your identity?
You decide you must show your mastery of one of your Kai disciplines. Well, the rule is if we have the discipline, we use the discipline without going to vote. However, in this case, I think that there are so many of the skills here that we do have, it might be quite fun to decide what to use. So, another poll. Do we use the discipline of healing to show that we are who we say we are? That would be 16. Perhaps we should use Mind Blast and teach this little ingrate a lesson on being subtle and not scaring your betters. Or perhaps, we don't have that one, but we do have this one, 48. Mind over matter. Perhaps we should levitate this man and make him regret having grabbed us in the dark. So 16 is to use healing, 133 is to use Mind Blast, and 48 is to use mind over matter. Use the Force, Luke. Something like that. And votes coming in now. Looks like mind over matter. Mind over matter seems to be winning at the moment. 50% of the votes. We don't have mind over matter? Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay, we don't have mind over matter. Don't vote for mind over matter, folks. If you voted for 48, unvote. We only have the two. You see, this is why I need you in the chat, to be honest. So, if you can't unvote, I'll run the chat again. Well, look at me here, violating the rules, breaking them left, right, and center with reckless abandon. My goodness, it's just all over the place. All right, so I'm going to go with number 16. New poll. All right, we're going to end that one. We're going to do another one. Right, let's do a new poll. And so that is 16 to use healing, or 133 to use Mind Blast, which we actually have. We don't have any other ones listed there. So we have those. The poll is up. Let's get those going. Do we heal? Do we restore? Do we cut our hand and then heal it again to say, ha, look, we can heal stuff? Or perhaps we fry his fragile little mind by inserting horrid images of marmalade gone bad. Or whatever one would assume is a horrid image. Okay, we've reached our majority of viewers, so end of the poll. We are going to use 16 healing. We are not going to use violence. You pick up an ale glass and smash it across the edge of the table. The jagged glass is razor sharp. As you draw it across the back of your left hand, a long cut appears, trickling blood. Covering this wound with your right hand, you concentrate and feel the warmth of your power as the wound heals. When you remove your right hand, no trace of the cut or any scar remains. The sailor stares at you in amazement. 268. It is pretty amazing if you think about it. 268. You are indeed a Kai Lord, says the sailor, but the astonishment on his face quickly changes to an unpleasant sneer. Or should I say, you were. As he speaks, the door crashes open behind you, and you turn to see 3 harbour thugs advancing towards you. Each is armed with a scimitar, and you have no choice but to fight all 3 as one enemy. You may evade after 2 rounds of combat by running through a side door, or just stick it out. I told you we should use Mind Blast, but we do have an image. We do have an image of the 3 sailors. I wouldn't have trusted any one of those 3 people to take me to the ship. But anyway, so there we are. And so let's do the calculations of combat here. The thugs have a 16 to our 21. So that puts us in a ratio of 5, which I think puts us really ahead. So here's the first attack. I warned you, I am a healer. But zam! The enemy loses 14 endurance points. We lose nothing. They have 25 in total. So that 14 of that puts them on that number there, which I can't calculate immediately. 11. All right, that's the first round. Okay, I warned you. Oh, you rolled a 1. The enemy loses 6 endurance points, leaving them on 5, but they do nick us for 4. That's all right. 4 chapters and I'll have sorted myself out. I don't think any of us want to run away, so let's stand and fight. We rolled a 0. The enemy loses 18 endurance points. We lose nothing. They drop to the ground. Turn to 333. If they are agents of the Dark Lord, we have no choice but to finish them. No choice but to finish them. The sailor who claimed to be the first mate, Ronan, seems to have escaped during the fight. You quickly search through the bodies of the harbour thugs, but find nothing of value. However, you do notice that each of them has a tattoo of a serpent on their left wrist. Whoever sent them to kill you must already know of the importance of your quest. You leave the tavern by the side door and discover the dead body of a sailor lying beneath some stairs. Inside the collar of his blood-stained jacket is a tag bearing the name Ronan. This must be the real Ronan. He has been murdered. You cover the body and turn towards the quay, where the green scepter is anchored about 300 yards from the harbour wall. If you wish to use one of the many boats or coracles that are roped to the quayside, turn to 300. But if you wish to hunt down the impostor who pretended to be Ronan, turn to 67. Interesting. Well, we don't know what this serpent tattoo means, but if they all have them, well, it should be fairly easy to find this impostor. And if he's working for some evil organization, we should probably try and stop him. But at the same time, we only have 40 days to get to Hammerdal and back. So maybe we shouldn't. 300 gets us taking a boat to try and get to the Green Scepter. 67, we go looking for the imposter. I don't know. Time is of the essence. And we've just capped over the vote count. Half of the viewers watching. So the poll is over. Thank you for voting. And it is quite close, actually. We're going 67. 67, just snuck in there. We're going hunting for the imposter. Timed quest shouldn't be set aside. Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, if this person has a spy, well, maybe it's worth looking into. If they have a spy in Homeguard. I mean, who else knew that I was leaving apart from the king and a few advisors? Captain Duval! You quickly deduce that the imposter must have escaped by the main entrance to the tavern, and if he is still in the harbour area, he must be in or around the main square. You search the buildings and alleyways round the square, but there is no sign of him at all. Rather than waste more time in a fruitless search, you return to the quayside and untie a small coracle from its mooring. As you row towards the Green Scepter, you begin to feel uneasy. Let me try that again. As you row towards the Green Scepter, you begin to feel uneasy that so early in your mission, your enemies seem to have already found you. As you paddle towards the sleek trade caravel, you notice to your surprise that the boarding ladder is being pulled up. A mean-looking sailor leans over the gunwale and curses at you. He seems to think that you are a refugee trying to stow away on board. But when you shout that you are Lone Wolf, and you were ambushed by an impostor at the tavern, the ladder is soon lowered again. As you climb over the side of the ship, you are met by a tall man in a gold-braided uniform. His face is almost totally covered in a shock of bright red hair and a bright red beard. "All anchor!" he booms. The crew spring into action, as their very lives depended on it. The captain ushers you below to his cabin, where he pours 2 glasses of Wanlo, a strong spirit. His face shows concern as you tell him what has happened. "There is evil treachery at work, and the enemy already plans afoot to thwart your quest," he begins when you've told him your tale. "It seems that you have lost the element of surprise, and I have lost a courageous first mate. Let us only hope that the voyage to Duranor will be swift and safe." You leave him to go up on deck, just in time to see the outline of Homeguard on the horizon. With mixed feelings of pride and apprehension, you descend the stairway to your cabin as the last spire of the capital disappears from view. Pick a number from the random number table. And I think we've got a whole bunch of endurance points back. So we get +2, which puts us back to full. We can't, unfortunately, go above full. Random number, oh random number, what is our random number? Our random number is 7, which takes us to page 22. In the morning, you are woken by the cry of the deck watchman. "Wreckage off the starboard bow!" Quickly dressing, you climb up on deck and join the captain at the rail. Pick another random number. 3, 4, 1. Right at the end of the book, 3, 4, 1. Shattered beams and torn sails are all that remain of the unfortunate merchant ship. You ask the captain to search for survivors, but he ignores your plea and orders the crew to continue their duties. As the wreckage gradually disappears from view, the nagging fear that a similar fate could await you makes your throat dry. You descend below deck and take care to lock the cabin door behind you. 240. After 3 uneventful days at sea, you find shipboard life rather dreary. If you have the Kai discipline of healing, any endurance points that you may have lost on your adventure so far are restored. This will bring your endurance point score back to your original one. If you do not possess the skill, restore half of any points that you have lost in combat. Well, we're already there. On the afternoon of the 4th day, you are taking... Let me try that again. On the afternoon of the 4th day, you are talking with an injured sailor up on deck when you smell smoke seeping from the hold. If you wish to enter the hold, turn to 29. If you wish to shout, "Fire!" turn to 236. If you wish to warn the captain, turn to 101. It be poll time! So, page 29 is if we want to enter the hold. Are we firefighters? Page 236 is if you wish to shout, "Fire!" And page 101 is if you want to warn the captain. Let someone else handle it. Not my circus and not my monkeys. So, do we want to enter the hold? Smoke doesn't necessarily mean fire, but it could mean fire. I guess that's 29. We could just shout fire and let someone else deal with it. Because, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, unless it's a smokeless fire, or if the fire doesn't burn something that's smokable, I guess. Or maybe we should just tell the captain that we're seeing smoke, because it might not be anything. It could be the kitchens, for all we know. Although we've been on the ship for 3 days, so we should probably know by now the difference. Poll is in. We've got just to half of the number of viewers. So, poll is over. It's a split. It's a split. Absolute split. 3 ways. Okay. That means I'm going to choose. And I'm going to say we enter the hold. Page 29. We've got Kai powers. If it is a fire, well, we can use something to do something about it. Maybe? You release the lock and slide back the hatch cover. The sudden draft of air causes flames to billow out of the hold. You stumble backwards, clutching your burnt face. No, not the face! You lose 2 endurance points. Fire! Fire! The cry goes up. In panic, the crew fight to put out the flames. It takes over an hour to control the blaze. The damage is considerable. The entire store of food and fresh water that was in the hold, the fire has completely ruined, as well as weakened the structure of the ship. As you stand surveying the wreckage, the captain approaches you, his face blackened by the smoke. He is carrying something in a bundle under his arm. "We must talk in private, my lord," he says quietly. Without replying, you turn and follow him below to his cabin. "A bit smoky down here, sir, don't you think? I understand the need for secrecy, but... all right." After taking care to close his door, the captain opens the mysterious bundle and tips the contents onto his cabin table. A large charred earthenware jug and several blackened rags drop in a heap. They give off a strange, oily smell. "This was no accidental fire," he says solemnly. "This was an act of sabotage. The forward hold is a food store, yet I find this oil jug and these soaked rags upon the floor. Someone on this ship is prepared to risk his life to stop us reaching Duranor." You both stare at the burnt rags as if they hold the answer to your questions. Suddenly, a cry from up on deck breaks the silence.
Ship! Ship ahoy! Ship off the port! Ship off the starboard! Ship to the right! Ship left! Ship to the left! It's on the left!
Grabbing his sword and telescope, the captain disappears through the door and up the ladder to the deck above. Do we wish to follow him? 175. Or would we rather make a quick search of his cabin? On 315. I mean, do we have reason to suspect the captain? I don't think so. If we did, why did he bring us the oil? The evidence that someone is trying to kill us? Or maybe that's a threat. No, that doesn't make sense. I think we should just go up onto deck. If there's another ship, that seems so coincidental, unless perhaps they saw the smoke. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to decide. We'll have to decide quickly. And we need some more votes. Following him does make sense. But will we get another opportunity to just check and look around? I don't know. I don't know. I need 2 more votes and then I'll make a decision. Just 2 more votes, and it can't be the same ones because we're split at the moment. I'm so indecisive today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a Kai Lord. I should know what to do. And right now I'm leaning towards following the captain. I'm still leaning towards following the captain. We've got the votes in. Thank you, folks. We are going to follow the captain. We are not snoops. We trust him. He's got us this far. If he was trying to kill us, he could have killed us before, surely. If you wish to follow him, 175.
It seems our bird has flown, says the captain, pointing to a longboat moving swiftly towards another ship on the horizon. She flies no flag, and her hull is of a strange shape. I've ne'er before seen the like. You watch as the longboat reaches the mysterious ship. As if by magic, a sea fog appears from nowhere and engulfs the vessel. Moments later, both the ship and the fog have disappeared. Pick a number from the random number table. Magic! It must be Helgadad's sorcery. That's what it is. 629. The crew start to whisper. You hear the words, ghost ship and cursed voyage. But the muttering stops when the captain's voice booms out an order for all hands on deck. Only the creaking of the timbers can be heard as Captain Kelman climbs to the rear deck and addresses the crew. Men, we are 3 days sail from Port Bax. The fire has robbed us of our provisions, and our fresh water has been fouled. We shall have to steer a new course for Ragadorn, where we shall make good our repairs and replenish our stores. That is all. The crew seem pleased by the captain's announcement and set about their duties with renewed vigor. Then the captain turns to you. We are about 8 hours from Ragadorn, my lord. My orders are to see you safely to Port Bax and pass you into the care of the Sumalanding consul, Lord Lieutenant Rygar. But time is not our ally, and I fear the repairs may take a week or more to complete. When we drop anchor, you will have to find your own route to Duranor, by sea with us or alone by the coast road. As you return to your cabin, the king's words haunt your thoughts. 40 days, Lone Wolf. We only have strength to stand against them for 40 days. You do not have long to contemplate your dangerous mission. 197.
I think all of our endurance points are back by this time, without a doubt. As dawn breaks, a fierce storm rises, and you are woken by the violent rocking of the ship. The floor of your cabin is awash, and the shouts of the crew can hardly be heard above the howling wind. You quickly dress, gather up your equipment, and make your way to the deck. You are soon joined by the captain, who takes hold of your arm and orders you to return to your cabin. Suddenly, as you start to go down, there is a thunderous crack as high in the rigging part of the mast snaps. You look up to see the shattered pole falling towards you. Draw a number. 8. 5 through 9. 1, 4, 1. As the mast smashes into the deck, a splintered beam hits your head and you are knocked overboard. Gasping for air, you fight your way to the surface and catch hold of a hatch cover. You are half stunned. You lose 2 endurance points. You pull yourself onto this makeshift raft and cling to it with all your strength. If you are wearing a chainmail waistcoat, you must discard it now, or otherwise you will be drowned for sure. Who was it in chat who said that the chainmail waistcoat wouldn't be a problem if we didn't go swimming? Who was it? You cursed us. Oh no, there goes our waistcoat. Oh well, we didn't need those endurance points. So technically we just dropped to 22, I guess. I was not sure on that one. You feel dizzy and sick as the heaving wave buffets, as the heaving sea buffets you relentlessly. You gradually slip into unconsciousness. When you awake many hours later, the storm has passed. By the position of the sun, you judge it to be late afternoon. In the distance, you can see a small fishing boat, and beyond it, on the horizon, land. The only trace of the green scepter is the hatch cover on which you now sit. If you wish to use your cloak to try to signal the fishing boat, turn to 278. If you wish to ignore the boat and paddle towards the shore, 337. Okay, so flag down the fishing boat, 278, or paddle towards the shore on 337. You tell me. Fishing boat's more likely to know the area, I guess. But at the same time, do we want to alert even more people that we are here? It seems like the forces of Helgadad are very powerful. Dear, oh dear. Also, where are we on the map? We're going into Ragadorn? We were trying to get to Port Bax. We're not even halfway yet. Oh my goodness. What is to become of us? Being a Kai Lord is tough. We should have gone into baking like Mother said. Oh well. Votes are in. 278. We're going to try and flag them down. We need some help. Everyone knows about our mission now anyway. 278. You desperately wave your Kai cloak above your head until you are near to exhaustion. Roll on a random number table to see if your effort has been rewarded. 241. You are in luck, for the boat has seen your distress signal and is heading towards you. It is a small fishing boat from the port of Ragadorn. The fishermen are a rough-looking bunch, but they wrap you in a warm blanket and offer you some food. The captain suggests that you sleep, as it will be 2 or 3 hours before they arrive back in Ragadorn. If you wish to take his advice, restore 1 endurance point. Well, we don't need to. And go to 194. But if we wish to stay awake and look out for other survivors, 251. I know what my conscience is telling me. Stay awake and look for survivors, but this is such a nice warm blankie, and the boat's rocking is so very nice. I could just sleep for a little bit. Well, I'm not sure. What would a Kai Lord do? Kai Lord would look for survivors, I guess. So that's probably what we should do. Also, there's a small part of me which doesn't necessarily trust these folks. So it's pretty unanimous. We've got our 50%. So we're going with it. We're staying awake. Coffee. I need coffee. That's what I need. I need some coffee. As we look for survivors. 251. It is nearly dark when the small fishing boat passes through the harbour entrance of Raggadorn. You have still seen no sign of survivors from the storm, and you fear the worst. You notice that the three of the fishermen are acting very suspiciously. They whisper to each other, and their eyes often glance at your money pouch. As the boat sails into the estuary of the River Dawn, they surround you and demand that you hand over all of your gold. You are about to fight them when an unexpected blow from behind knocks you to the deck. You see one of the fishermen raise his foot. As it strikes your head, suddenly everything fades into darkness. 194. When you awake, you are shocked to find yourself lying beneath a wooden jetty, and the shallow water surrounding you fills your nostrils with a foul stench. As you stand, your head throbs violently as if you had been knocked unconscious. This is exactly what has happened to you, and your gold, your backpack, your weapons, and all your special items, including the Seal of Hammerdal, have been stolen by the fishermen. I'm not crying. It's the salt of the water in my face. I'm not crying. It's life is hard. Your backpack, your weapons, and all your gold. I mean, easy come, easy go. It doesn't say anything about my food, and I'm not letting that go. It doesn't say food, so... With a groan of despair, you climb out of the slimy water and pull yourself onto the jetty. Looking up, you see a faded sign. Welcome to Raggadorn. You fear the rumors about this place are true. It is nearly dark and it has started to rain. You must find the seal if you are to persuade the Duranese to give you the Suma sword. Looking round, you see a large market square with a stone signpost in the center, indicating the various roads that lead off the square. Interesting. Yeah, Sixth Sense didn't warn us about that one, did it? Okay, right. So we've got a lot of choices here. Do we wish to go east along Barnacle Street? We've got no reason not to. Do we want to go south along West Bank Wharf? Well, maybe that's where the sailors might have gone. Do we want to go north along Booty Walk? Maybe that's where the sailors have gone. Or perhaps we should go back to the jetty and search for the fishing boat. But was it really unique? I don't know. So the poll is this. 215 is Barnacle Street. 303 is West Bank Wharf, 129 is Booty Walk, and 86 is searching for the fishing boat. I think they probably... Well, they were fishing. They really were fishing. So they didn't steal the boat, but why would they stay on the boat? They've just got 44 crowns of my money. They probably have gone to Booty Walk, if it's doing what I think it's doing, which is 129. West Bank Wharf could be where the taverns are. I mean, I don't know. This is Raggadorn. What would we do if we found them? We've got no weapons. Well, let's see. Votes are in. Votes are in. The most votes we've had so far. This is fantastic. As they say in chat, they stole our booty and took it to Booty Walk to buy booty. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. So is chat. We're on 53% of the votes. A lot of votes there. Went for Booty Walk. 129. 129. You pass several narrow warehouses lining the waterfront and reach the harbour wall. Here the road bears sharply to the right into Tomb Street. Marching along the centre of the street are 4 heavily armed city guards. Rather than be stopped and possibly arrested by these soldiers, you dodge into an alleyway off to your right. The guards suddenly halt opposite the alley entrance. If one of them should turn his head, you will be spotted for sure. Behind you is a small window leading into a crowded tavern. Without a second's hesitation, you climb through the window as quickly as possible. 4. The tavern is full of brigands and drunks, the good-for-nothing crews of trading ships moored at the jetty, all singing and drinking while some try their strength at arm wrestling. All are so engrossed that nobody notices you enter. In a far corner, you see the fishermen that robbed you. They are seated at a round table covered with empty ale tankards. You know that if you are to reach Duanor in time, you must retrieve the Seal of Hammerdal and your gold, and the crystal star pendant, and the shield, and my money. If you wish to confront the fishermen, and this, I think, let's have a look. If you wish to confront the folks, it's 104. We are in a room full of their friends. If you wish to talk to the barkeeper, they stole everything from me and I have no proof, so why would you believe me? If you wish to try and win some crowns at arm wrestling, 276. What? That doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe if we win some crowns, we can buy some drinks for the rest of the people here, and then we can tell them that they stole all of our stuff, so maybe that would work. But confronting them seems one of the options, 104. Talking to the innkeeper, 342. Or win some gold crowns with arm wrestling, 276. I mean, our combat skill's not bad, but can we use Mind Blast? I don't know. Votes coming in. So far, it looks like we're going to confront. Yeah. All right, we have our number. All right. 71%, we're confronting them. 104. The fishermen stare at you with open mouths as if they have just seen a corpse return from the dead. Suddenly, one of them kicks over the table, and they make their escape through the back door of the tavern. In one bound, you leap over the table and pursue them out of the tavern into the darkness beyond. If you wish to continue your chase, turn to 231. If you decide to let them go, turn to 177. Nonsense, we're continuing the chase. I'm not even doing it as a poll. 231. Yeah, come back here, you sons of Giax. 231. You continue your chase. The back door opens onto a small square, in the center of which is a large tomb. The fishermen have disappeared into the gloomy streets. All that is left, I suppose. All that is left except one, who has slipped on the wet cobblestones and knocked himself out. The fishermen have disappeared into the gloomy streets. All that is except one, who has slipped on the wet cobblestones and knocked himself out. He is lying in the gutter with his face submerged in a puddle. You roll him over with your foot and search him. You discover 5 crowns, thank you, of my 44. Shock and horror. A dagger, mine, My dagger. My dagger. Yes. Thank you. And the Seal of Hammerdal. Well. There is that. If you wish to return to the tavern, turn to 177. If you wish to study the tomb, turn to 24. My goodness. If you have the Kindnessman of Tracking, turn to 182. 182. We have tracking, I believe. Yes, we do. So we turn to the tracking. 182. And this will be our last entry for the evening. You must find shelter for the night, or you will risk being arrested by the city guard. Your Kai sense tells you that the best course of action is to return to the tavern and ask the innkeeper for a room. Refreshed by a comfortable night's sleep, you can then make plans to reach Durinor first thing in the morning. Turn to 177. And that is where our journey ends, as we are going to have to see what happens next week when we return. I'm just looking for a bookmark here that I can make some notes on, and this one will do. 177. That's where we're at, folks. Thank you very much for participating, and remember to hit that like button or the subscribe button if you want to get alerts when these are launching. They are coming out every Tuesday at the same time. Big thank you to everyone for participating, and until we meet again in Magnamund, I wish you and yours the happiest of gaming.